Hi everybody. I just got a question on Forex Factory from somebody who joined our forum, and he downloaded the demo version of Timing Solution and is finding that his curves don't match mine. So let's take a look here and see what's going on. Clicking on his image. For starters, I see 4,579 bars. And I use 10,000 bars. So I'll show you in a second how I do that. Also, I see that he's only doing a spectrum analysis up to 104 bars rather than about 100 days. So we'll change that as well. Okay, let me pause for a second and launch Timing Solution. Might as well show you how I launch it as well. So I just click this icon, Run Timing Solution, built June 16, 2020. Open up the data, and I'm using 10,000 bars that I take out of my, MT4, exporting 30-minute data, and click on that. Click Load, OK, yes, OK. All right, as you can see down here, 10,033 bars. So click Calculate. And zoom in here. So I right click and drag. And so this is last week's price action, July 6 through 11. Notice the volatility in here. I predicted the previous week that we'd have up price action, which we got, but it wasn't a direct track to get there. There was some up and down movement. And I took advantage of some of that on my demo account so that when I saw that price went up pretty rapidly and then broke a trend line through here, I decided I would get out and close the trade and then re-enter down here when it was low. But that's another story for another time. Anyhow, so as I click, let's do Spectrum first, since that was the question. So I click the Spectrum module, and I've set the default to the parameters that I like to use. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So, first of all, I'm using metric time rather than bars. Okay, so that's one thing. And notice that I'm going out to 98 days. And I'm also using just the last 3 cycles. And I'm using exponential non-lag moving average based on the closing price. And I'm using pretty broad stretched out moving averages, 100, 200, and 400 period. Okay, so, and the relative price oscillator in here. So we have to get all these aligned up, get the number of bars aligned up, and then we'll probably get the same. So let me recalculate that. To save these settings, you click the default button up here. Okay. Next, when I see this division between the yellow and the white, I don't choose these bars out here because it introduces more noise than I like. So I'm going to start all the way out here at 75 days. Click on that peak. Click here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of cycles that are prominent in the data series this week. And what we're going to do is distill these all into one cycle. So I click the selected button and use harmonic box here. Notice that each of these cycles is also made into a bunch of subcycles. So we've got a lot of cycles going on here that we're trying to pull together. Let me pause it here while that works. Okay, so that produced this set of curves. And in another video, if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see I've sometimes made adjustments here to fine-tune how the curve reacts and looks through here. For instance, and I didn't do this week, but I probably should. Let's take a peek here. I could move back this peak to coincide with that. So let me zoom in. And we can try dialing this back. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Usually the curve with the most days, the slider has the most effect in where the turnaround occurs. And notice also I'm going for these broad strokes rather than trying to catch each of these individual curves. Okay, so I'll minimize these and bring that in. And notice we have this general downtrend for the week, and adjusting the curve here looks a little different than the one I posted because I didn't do that on the post that I made. But essentially the same thing is happening. Look out for price to be volatile on the second part of the week, I suppose. So in addition to the spectrum, I do check out the Q spectrum as well. So I'm going to click the Q button up here and calculate. And what this will show is more precise pinning down of, and notice I'm only going out to 31 days here. But I can change that. So there's plenty to play with here. The higher the peak, the more prominent the cycle. And if we get a spectrum curve that coincides with a good high peak, that's pretty confirming. That's a good one. Yeah, so here we have this really nice, good strong peak here, confirming this top. So I'm going to click on that and change the color of that so it's not red. And let's see, hopefully. And that's this curve here. And notice how broad that one is, showing this downtrend. Finally, I've been using in astronomy moon versus sun, which the euro seems very much to move along with. So it's moon minus sun geo, and because of the 30-minute bars, I've been playing around and notice that 1/5 harmonic slows down the curve again, and 50% on the smooth orb, and make that a thicker line as well. Click OK, and then click this blue button to bring that up into the main window. And let's see here. I'm hiding, oops, some of the extra lines here, but I guess we'll keep that. So, I used just to recap, the spectrum showing me a downtrend, the Q spectrum that gave me a broader view of that, and moon minus sun, also all three coinciding. So I've got a fairly high confidence that this will be a down week. Good luck and ask any questions. Take care.